Have you ever stopped to think about the true essence of blessing? Today, I'm going to reveal an incredible secret that will challenge your beliefs and transform your vision of the quest for a blessed life. Prepare for a journey of discovery beyond the ordinary. Be ready to question, reflect, and be surprised, because what I share can change your perspective forever. Stay with us, for this revelation may be the catalyst you need to conquer a truly blessed life. Intrigued? Let's do it. Genesis 32 relates a remarkable episode in Jacob's life. That night he rose up, reuniting his 2 wives, 2 handmaidens, and 11 children. They crossed the ford of Jabbok, where Jacob sent them forward, standing alone. In this moment of solitude, he engaged in a fight with a mysterious man, a battle that persisted until the dawn of the day. Realizing that the divine man had prevailed, Jacob did not give up. Instead, he sought a blessing. The man, recognizing Jacob's persistence, touched the cavity of his thigh, leaving him limping. Jacob insisted on being blessed, and in response, man changed his name to Israel, symbolizing his power with God and with men. The story also highlights a moment in Peniel where Jacob saw God face to face. In recognition of this unique experience, Jacob named the place Peniel, meaning, "I saw God face to face," and the sun rose upon him, marking a new phase in his life. The reference to the episode in which Jacob grabbed the heel of his brother Esau in the womb highlights his strength and power, predicting his significant role in future events. His struggle with the angel in Bethel also illustrates his ardent search for divine blessing. As he passed through Beersheba on his journey from Haran to Beersheba, Jacob experienced an extraordinary sight. As he slept, he saw a ladder that extended to heaven, with angels rising and descending. This vision, which occurred during the night, revealed the connection between heaven and earth, leaving a deep mark on Jacob's spiritual journey. These stories show Jacob's persistence, strength, and spiritual pursuit. Whether in physical struggles or visionary experiences, Jacob remains an intriguing figure who left a lasting mark on the biblical narrative. Jacob realized without prior knowledge that he was in the presence of God. This revelation highlights a moving truth. People often ignore moments that have the potential to alter the course of their lives. This is especially common among believers who, instead of actively seeking change through prayer, passively wait for improvements in circumstances. However, the fundamental truth that every believer needs to know and remember is that prayer has the power to bring about change. Jacob's story teaches us about the rarity and importance of taking advantage of divine opportunities. After years of living with his uncle Laban, Jacob found another divine moment during his return journey to reconcile with his brother. This encounter, unlike her dream in Bethel, was a physical struggle with an angel. Jacob, realizing the significance of that moment, clung to the angel, refusing to give up. His determination stemmed from the understanding that such moments are rare and crucial to transforming fate. This incident illustrates the power of perseverance and willingness to engage in spiritual battles to achieve advancement. Jacob's struggle with the angel symbolizes the importance of sincere prayer and spiritual tenacity. In his battle, Jacob invested all his effort and strength, earnestly seeking the angel's blessing. This desire for blessing was rooted in their difficulties and toil. Interestingly, the struggle was not free of cost, resulting in the displacement of Jacob's thigh. This narrative highlights the reality that spiritual search and sincere prayer can involve sacrifices and challenges. Yet Jacob's example reminds us that the reward is worth it, and the transformations achieved through faith and prayer have a lasting impact. Jacob's experience is a vivid testimony to the power of persistence in faith and willingness to endure hardship in search of divine blessing. The intense encounter with the angel, as recorded in Genesis 32, transcends the physical realm, becoming a vivid metaphor of the fervor and determination that should characterize our life of praise. This dramatic struggle goes beyond the physical plane, exploring the spiritual meaning of prayer. Prayer is not just a passive act, but an active form of spiritual warfare. Jacob demonstrates an unwavering commitment, refusing to give in despite the physical pain and prolonged duration of the struggle. Their persistence reflects the kind of determination we are all called to have in our prayer lives. We must pray without ceasing, tirelessly seeking God's purpose, His presence and favor, just as Jacob did. Jacob's refusal to let the angel go until he receives a blessing is an illustration of the tenacity we should have in our prayers. Therefore, my message to you today is simple. Do not let your angel go away. In addition, Jacob's struggle with the angel represents a turning point in his life, marked by a change of name from Jacob to Israel. This transformation symbolizes a change of a life of effort with its own forces to prevail with the strength of God. Whatever situation you are in today, pray. If you have lost all hope, pray. If you are alone and in a desperate situation, pray. Before seemingly insurmountable and flexible mountains, pray. If you face a storm that threatens to overwhelm you, pray. If you feel trapped in a cycle of failure and disappointment, pray. If you are struggling with insecure decisions about the way forward, pray. If you are burdened by the weight of past mistakes, feeling unworthy and condemned, pray. Now I'm going to read you a Bible verse, a single verse that will change your life. Internalize this verse from Psalm 94:9. He who made the ear does not make you hear. He who formed the eye is not seeing. Essentially, this verse makes a logical argument. If God is the creator of the ear, He certainly has the ability to listen. Similarly, if He created the eye, He undoubtedly has the ability to see. This implies that God is fully aware of everything that happens in the world, including the actions and needs of His people. It is a guarantee that nothing escapes God's attention, and therefore He is fully capable of providing justice and care. God created your ears, and you can hear. So why do you doubt that God can hear your prayers? When you address Him in prayer, maintain the same confidence you have in recognizing His presence by sinning or doing something wrong. Do not hesitate to fully believe that God has observed every moment you have missed. So why question that He is attentive when you pray? Pray with the certainty that God is attuned to your words, ready to listen and act on your situation, and that God is listening and will act in your situation. Many of us give up when we pray because we feel that we are not getting the desired results. Jacob had an excuse to give up that night, seeing that the angel had dislocated his thigh from the joint. However, he preferred to die fighting with the angel than to live outside the purpose intended by God for his life. What many believers do not know is that their persistence in the place of prayer will go a long way to positively affect the next generation. The fate of the nation of Israel was in Jacob's hands the night he fought. Some of us may not know what lies within us until we pray persistently. Jacob was desperate to be blessed, just as you may be desperate for a discovery. Jacob fought with his angel, just as you can fight with your angel's prayer. This will cost something, cost Jacob his sleep, for he fought with the angel all night until the angel said, "Let me go." Sleeping at dawn was a luxury that Jacob could not afford. Likewise, his prayer time will cost him dearly, just as it cost Jacob's hip, and he walked the rest of his life limping. However, by God, he was blessed. An excellent example illustrating the biblical perspective on such prayers is the story of Jabez. His prayer, found in 1 Chronicles 4:9-10, is notable for its simplicity and sincere nature. Jabez made a personal and sincere appeal to God, devoid of any complex language or ritualistic elements. This simplicity in your approach is a powerful reminder of the effectiveness of direct and serious prayer. 1 Chronicles 4:9-10 reports that Jabez was more honorable than his brothers, and his mother called his name Jabez, saying, "For I bear you sorrow." Jabez called upon the God of Israel, saying, "Oh, if you would indeed bless me, and enlarge my shore, and let your hand be with me, and protect me from evil, lest it grieve me." God granted him what he asked for. The story of Jabez, presented in 1 Chronicles 4:9, sets the stage for his prayer. The name Jabez is significant, meaning cause of pain in Hebrew. This nomenclature indicates the circumstances of his birth, possibly reflecting physical or emotional pain experienced by his mother. The text also highlights that Jabez was more honorable than his brothers, suggesting a moral or spiritual quality that distinguished him through his honesty. Various aspects of life, including physical, spiritual, and relational, indicate that a life blessed by God touches all facets of human experience. In his prayer, Jabez made 4 key petitions. First, Jabez asked for God's blessing, which within a biblical context could imply favoring prosperity or well-being. This request sought God's favor in your life, and it is important to note the distinction between being blessed and being truly blessed in every way, without the underlying dissatisfaction that can often accompany life, even when experiencing blessings as salvation, family, wealth, or health. Jabez then requested the expansion of the territory, a petition that could be understood literally as a desire for land expansion, a symbol of prosperity in ancient times. Figuratively, it would represent a desire for greater influence, responsibilities, or opportunities. Jabez sought not only physical ground, but a broader scope for his life and impact, recognizing that any blessing or expansion is meaningless without God's sustaining presence. Jabez's third petition was for God's presence in his life, symbolizing support, divine guidance, and protection. This request showed his understanding that any blessing or expansion is meaningless without the sustaining presence of God. It was a call for an ongoing, intimate relationship with God. Finally, Jabez asked for divine deliverance from evil. This request was probably linked to the negative implications of his name, meaning cause of pain. Jabez recognized the existence of evil and suffering in the world, probably derived from his own experiences of pain. He recognized his need for God's protection from evil and his belief that God's hand could turn pain and evil in his life into something good. In short, Jabez's prayer is a model for us in many ways. It shows that it is not a sin to ask for God's blessing in our lives or for our loved ones. His prayer teaches us about the nature of true blessing, which covers all areas of our lives and is more than just material or external prosperity. It also shows the importance of seeking God's presence and protection in a world where evil and suffering are realities. The story of Jabez encourages us to approach God with simplicity and sincerity, trusting Him to transform our circumstances and fulfill His purposes in our lives. Amazing, isn't it? This journey of insights and revelations is just beginning. If you liked what you saw and want more, do not forget to leave your like, comment your reflections, and share with those who need to hear it. Embrace the change. And if you want to make sure you won't miss our upcoming videos loaded with wisdom, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and follow our community. Together, we will explore the depths of transformation and conquer a truly blessed life. We look forward to this journey with you. Until the next video, and the search for truth continues.